Hi, welcome to our studio chat. Today, Fleur and I wanted to chat about the comparison trap. There are lots of different ways to look at this, but I think it affects all of us in different forms. And I am coming off of summer and am totally feeling that way of just, it's not necessarily comparison of somebody's artwork or somebody's successes, but the things I have wanted and had goals to do that haven't happened can kind of creep up on you and make you start feeling a certain way. And then when you see somebody else making progress in the area that you were hoping to make progress in, it can kind of start to make you feel bad about yourself or where you're at or the season that you're in. And so I think it's an important topic to chat about because it's a normal thing that I think we all go through at different periods throughout our career and different periods throughout our life and the phase of life that we're in.
Yeah, I like this topic because it's kind of something that I think we all go through, and even as well as advanced we are, or how long we've been in our careers and all of that. And right now, I haven't actually been doing a lot of this, like comparing myself to others, or um, comparing myself to like where I want my goals to be, and then I might see someone else like achieve one of those goals that are kind of on my list too. And I haven't been in that, but I've been really laser focused and been really busy with the stuff that Ryan and I have to do and with other stuff that I'm doing in my studio, and I've had things going on. And so I haven't been doing a lot of it. And I put that down to maybe just being actually like laser focused and not, and with I've had my blinders on and my blinkers on, and I've just been going for what I've been like focused and niched down into. And so I feel like that could be a tip for you guys, is like when you do get, like when you're in the joy of it and you're laser focused into something, there's less comparing going on in your brain, like, and you start to look around less because you're focused on you. And so that's one kind of tip that I would say, is if you're feeling this way and you kind of like comparing, like, oh, look what they've done and I haven't got there, or you're like frustrated that like you are in a phase of your life that has little kids, you're a mum, you've got summer like Ryan, that juggling the kids at home, you're working full time and this is like a side time hustle, all of those things, it's like becomes like kind of like this thing in your mind of like, I'm just frustrated. I'm like frustrated because I don't have the time to do the things that I want to do and achieve the goals that I want to achieve. And then you see other people achieve those, and then you kind of like get this like, this like frustration feeling, right?
Yeah. I think you just hit on something that like I want to touch on is identifying the root of the comparison. So when I was just chatting, I'm coming from a spot of time, the time comparison that you were saying of like, I just have had summer with kids home and all of the things, and we've been so busy with creative studio and stuff, the time has been a real strain for me. And so when I'm looking at comparison, it's that time of like, oh, I want to be doing that. I wish I could be putting in the work and moving, but I'm not able to do that. Or is it in different seasons, it has been different things. So it's been technique or style, or I would love to be able to create like that, or I would love to be proficient in that software, or I would love to be able to paint with my gouache like that. Comparison can come in all different forms. And I think if you can identify the root of it, you can start to do things that help it. Kind of like what you were saying of, if it's time, maybe I get laser focused and say, I am really limited on time. So a lot of things in the summer have to just slide off. But what is the one thing that I know I want to make forward progress in? And it'll make me feel better if I take the time I have and I work on that. If it's technique, you can look at that and say, okay, instead of trying to do digital art and sketchbook art and paint, maybe I want to get really good at painting with my gouache. And it's just laser focusing in on that.
Yeah, like choosing something, like simplifying things down to what is actually manageable, and not like kind of like setting your goals so high that it's unachievable. Like I feel like sometimes we like put a lot of like pressure on ourselves to like be somewhere, and I really believe that like if you want to do this as a career and this is going to be your career, you can be doing this for like years and years. And so don't feel like it's like, I don't know, there's like a rush to be somewhere, to be, there's no finish line here. It's just kind of like it just flows like this. And there's going to be seasons where you are in certain phases of your life, like the mum phase, like having kids and little kids under tow, that it's going to be more difficult, or you're working full time to bring in income to support this side, the side hustle of yours, that it's just a phase and a point in time, and there's no actual finish line, guys. There's no like rush to be
Yeah.
anywhere. Every little step forward is actually progress. And sometimes I think I know myself, I can get frustrated of like, I'm not moving fast enough, but like it actually is just my pace, and somebody else might be moving a lot faster than me, or I might be moving faster than you, but we're all at different paces and different phases of our lives, and we all have different responsibilities, whether it's like looking after our parents, our kids, or um like work responsibilities, or we're doing this is a full-time job, but we also do like a lot of freelance work kind of thing, and not our own designs or that kind of stuff. So it's just realizing that they're just phases of life and there's no finish line. It's just all part of the journey, and we have to like relax into that. and
Yeah.
and like sometimes we can let these phases, these important phases, like you being with your kids over the summer, is really actually really important, and being okay with that. Sometimes we're just like, I just want to get to that other thing, and then you sacrifice what's actually really important, is being time with your kids.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. And I look at it as like um each season like Fleur was saying, it's a long road. There is no race, there's no finish line, and there's going to be different seasons that have different you have different capacity and different space in, right? So there will be seasons where you can be producing a lot of work. There's seasons that are busy. There's seasons that you are feeling super creative, and then there's seasons that maybe you aren't feeling as creative. And I think if you can appreciate the moment that you're in, rather than looking outward or wishing it to be further along, or wishing for it,
We have to like,
wishing the moment that you're way in. You know what I mean? Like just appreciating, because I look back at it now, and what Fleur and I do, it's a full-time job. Fleur and I work full hours, if not more than, oftentimes it's a
a lot of it's
lot of
admin,
hours.
and a lot of it's admin work. Like, to run a successful art business, you can't just be doing art all the time. There's a lot of admin stuff that goes in behind the success of a successful art business.
And I miss those days where I could draw more. I had more space to play and to just experiment and to draw at the park with the kids and do those things. And there wasn't an email waiting for me or things that had to be urgently done those days. And so I would say that is like, and I will also say that at every stage in your business, there are going to be challenges. So if you're looking at somebody and you're feeling comparison, they too have their own set of challenges, just like you do, right?
Yeah, and the more along the journey you get, the more pressure there is. So really, if you're in the beginning phases, enjoy that, because it is actually a really lovely place to be. As it grows, it gets more demanding, and you really have to be really good at juggling and scheduling and planning your time and managing that. Like, it's it's a skill. It's a skill.
Yeah. All
Um,
right. Should we
what
get
about,
some tips, some of our tips of how to manage that?
yeah, so lessening the noise would be, should we chat about that? Like lessening the noise around you. If you're feeling really overwhelmed, you're comparing yourself, you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling depleted, you're feeling, I don't know, all of those emotions that come with this kind of like putting yourself out there and being creative, and you're comparing, and the self-doubt, all of the stuff, the imposter syndrome, all of that. Let's lessen the noise. Let's turn off the things, or not do the things that make us feel that heightened, those feelings heightened. So I would say blinkers on, stop scrolling, stop looking
Yeah.
around, stop going on Pinterest, and get laser focused. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I would second that. It's okay to mute somebody. It's also okay to unfollow somebody, even if you love them and you love their work. If you see them popping up in your feed and it makes you feel a certain way about yourself, then mute the button, right? Like revisit when you're in a
Don't
better
mute
spot
us.
or don't. Yeah, don't mute us, but no, but I really mean that. I just like protect your headspace, right? And where you're at. And if there's a time where you're just like, I need to stop following this person because when I instead of feeling joy for their wins, I'm feeling a certain way about myself.
Also, it just that there's like I feel like you can get into this trap of like trying to learn all the things, and you might go on Skillshare and be learning from a whole lot of teachers as well, and so that's a lot of noise. It's a lot of like different information from different artists or teachers or that kind of thing, and so it can get really confusing and overwhelming, and you don't know which thing to choose or which thing to focus on, and so I would lessen that and try to just to focus in on maybe one to two like educators or that kind of thing, because that can get overwhelming if you're getting information from too many people. So I'd like bring that in and lessen the noise there. Also like um eliminate distractions as well when you are working, and so like closing tabs, turning off your phone, so then you like the time that you do have is really valued time and you're just like really focused on it. So laser focused and niching down can really help. Also this comparison trap, like
Yeah, sometimes
on
this
something.
this sounds silly, but know where you're headed. If you know where you're headed, if the destination you're trying to get to, if you get super clear on that, the comparison weirdly kind of starts to melt away because your path is your own path. Like the business I want to build, my creative business is going to look totally different than anybody else's because the things that I value are different. I value time freedom, space freedom, being able to be away, also all that kind of stuff reflects the business I'm building. And so for many years, have had a post-it note that has my landmark on my wall that just says, this is where I'm going. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes you can see, oh, this person's doing threads really well. This person's now doing whatever really well, and this and this and this. And it can feel like, well, I should be doing that and I should be doing that. But if you get really, really clear on where you're going, that comparison gets less and less because you're not looking around, you're focused on your path.
Yeah. I have a thing on my wall that's been on my wall since I started Houghton. It's how can I keep this simple? And I literally just wrote it out. I'll show you like how like it's not even written nicely or anything. I just wrote it on a piece of paper. This is backwards, but like
Yeah.
real scribble. It's a scribble, and I cut it out from my big roll up there. And just how can I keep this simple, super simple? How can I keep this super simple? And so like simplifying things for yourself can really help just eliminate a lot of this like comparison, overwhelm, imposter stuff, and all of that, like focusing really deep down. The other thing, well, probably our last tip, maybe, I don't know if you've got one more, but what is the one thing you really want to do right now, like that really excites you right now? And that would be the thing that I would focus on. Like Ryan is probably, I would say, I'm going to guess, greeting cards. She would love to like expand that. And right now I'm kind of focusing on wallpaper and stuff. So like, what's the one thing that you kind of really want to focus on, and just do that. The other things you can layer in next time. You're not like, by focusing in or niching down on something, you're not eliminating other things or eliminating your area of like,
Yeah.
oh, what
Niche for now.
niche for now. Like you're not limiting yourself. You're just, when you get laser focused, it just really helps your whole art business and your mindset, and also your visibility to other people, and they really get what you're trying to put out into the world.
Yeah. I think that's it. Well, I have one last. When you get triggered or you find yourself comparing yourself and it makes you feel a certain way, pay attention to what it is. Is it that somebody landed the greeting card thing that I wanted and it's the reminder that instead of being annoyed and feeling comparison of like, oh, I wanted that, be like, thank you, universe, for reminding me that that was one of my goals and I
Yeah,
need to get back to work on it.
it's cup half full, not cup half empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mindset of that is like a real positive way of turning it round. And instead of getting down and frustrated about it, you're kind of like, I needed that reminder. That was the universe reminding me. Now I'm going to go and achieve that. Let's go.
Yeah. Yes. All right, Flora and I have to go. We have an event for our Creative Brief membership. We have a call over there, so we're going to jump off. If you aren't a Creative Brief member, come join us. If you are a Brief member, you might be seeing us in just a few minutes. And yeah, as always, take a screenshot if you enjoyed this and share it. It means the world to us. And we'll see you guys next time.